Hi, it's Noel Gordon. I just wanted to talk to you today about diets. So there's a lot of people out there that's on a lot of these fad plans, like lose 10 pounds in 50 weeks. Or they're on one of the plans where you lose 10 pounds in a week. I mean, seriously. If you're going to lose 10 pounds, it's not going to, body fat, it's not going to be a week. And if you're going to lose 10 pounds in 50 weeks, which is a year, you're on the wrong plan. The plan is not working. Stop doing it. So let's just talk about diets. I'm going to try and give you some advice, and I'm sure people are going to disagree with me, but it's just my opinion, and it's what works well for me. So you will have to adapt it for yourself. But this has just worked for me, so just bear with me. The first thing about dieting you have to do is have a plan, and the plan is knowing what your goal is. Whether it's to get into that amazing dress you want to wear, or whether you want to get in, for blokes, we want to get into those jeans or that really nice weights vest. And that's the key. That's the key. Have your goal set. Now the next part is to set your goal daily, weekly, and monthly. And that's where a lot of people stumble, especially in their resolutions. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to get in a bikini for summer." And of course, 2-3 weeks, even a month and a half into their resolution, they've given up because they can't see themselves getting their goal. They can't see the daily results, the weekly results, the monthly results, and that's kind of what you have to set yourself. So set yourself basically a daily goal. Obviously, if you want more information, you can have to Facebook me, and we'll talk about it. But set yourself a daily goal, a weekly goal, and a monthly goal, and that's really the key point to getting and keeping your goals and getting to where you want to be. The next thing you have to do, I say this to all the people that train with me, is throw your scales out. Your scales have been lying to you since day one. It's that simple. Your weight fluctuates in the morning, fluctuates to the evening. The scales are always lying to you. There must have been a time when you've woke up in the morning and you thought, "Oh wow, I've lost 4 pounds," but come evening time, you've put on 4, and it's just because the way what you've eaten in a day, your water balance in your body, the salt. There's lots of factors that affect your weight fluctuating throughout the day. So just ignore the scales, throw them away. And the other key point is obviously with your scales, you have to remember that fat is is not as dense as muscle, yeah? So you can have this much fat. I'm sure you've seen the pictures on Facebook. You see this much fat, but it really, in muscle terms, it's tiny. So you could be going to the gym and you could have lost 10 pound in fat. Wow, amazing, well done. But you put on 12 pound in muscle. So you've come back home and your scales are saying you're 2 pound heavier than you were, and you're distraught because you thought you've lost weight, but you haven't. You've put on weight. There's where you're lying to you again, because you look at yourself in the mirror and you can see you've lost that 10 pound of fat. So you can see that muscle coming through. So the scales are going to lie to you all of the time. Get rid of them unless you're a competitive bodybuilder and you have to make a certain weight, but you're going to have a strict diet plan in place to sustain as much muscle as possible while still stripping out the body fat. Same as boxers, they have to meet a certain weight category while trying to keep as much muscle and strength and endurance as possible. So anyway, lose the scales. The next thing I'd suggest you do is use a mirror. A lot of people don't use the mirror enough, and that is the key point. If you take a picture of yourself today, in your briefs, in your knickers, whatever, and it's okay, I don't want to see your picture, and just literally take another picture in a week's time, then a week after that, and then a week after that, taking the same picture in the same position. Get someone to take a picture of the back of you week on week, and what you do is you compare the pictures. Now if your diet is working, you should be able to see that in the pictures, because you'll be able to compare the pictures and go, wow, yeah, I can see I'm losing body fat here, I'm losing body fat there. Obviously there's other tests you can do as well. Me personally, I've never used a caliper, a body fat caliper, to measure my body fat for competitions ever. I've always used the back of the hand test. Now a lot of people disagree with that, but it works well for me. I feel comfortable with that, and I know that I've achieved where I need to be. And what I usually do is I'll grab the back of my hand like so, and I do the same thing all over my body. And if I can't grab the same thickness of skin with a small pinch, I know I'm not ready to go into competitions. Obviously that's a bit more extreme, and other people have their own methods of making sure they're ready and how they look, but that's just one way that works for me. It makes me feel comfortable. Okay, so moving on. The next thing to do is put all the shit out of your body. If you want to look great, you can't put shit in your body, because you get shit out. It's that simple. So the first thing you need to do is accept you can't have those Krispy Kremes, and you can't have those soft drinks and all the other things that you really, really want. So that's the first thing you need to cut out your diet, and really, really try and stop yourself. Just think to yourself, you know, that Krispy Kreme is the one thing stopping me from having that amazing body. It's the way to look at it. You know, you kind of you put it in a place where it's bad for you, and you accept it in your mind that it's bad for you, and you won't have it. It's that simple. Because every time you go to look at it and you think, I want one, you'll remember how bad you'll look. It's a way of playing tricks with your psyche. You know, telling yourself that if I do this, this will happen, and you make it real enough for yourself that you won't quit your diet. And that's what a lot of bodybuilders do. That they set up their mindset to go, well, right, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to do it. And they'll put up these walls, but it doesn't mean that you don't give yourself a treat once in a while, because obviously you can't just, there's two reasons. You can't just diet all of the time. You can't just eat super clean all the time. You do have to have a little bit of leeway, because your body does like it, which is the second part of it. Your body, it actually help you diet once in a while, once every week, having that cheat meal, because what it does, it kind of tricks your body into burning more. So I'm just going through this really quickly. Okay, so we've talked about that for a second. The next thing you need to look at is how many meals you're eating per day. If you're eating 3 meals per day, or some people are eating 2 or 1 meal a day, your metabolism is dragging behind you. It is really slow. There is an old lady with more metabolism than you have. No, joking aside, but you do need to seriously look at your metabolism and eat more meals per day. Small and often. You must have heard it said a million times, little and often. Well, the key to that is to really get your head down and just go, right, well, in the morning, before work, I work, everyone works, so you've got no excuse not to make the food. Before morning, what you can do is you can just cook up everything you need for that day. You know, whether it be your chicken and your veg, and I'll talk about the meats and stuff in a minute. And you set that up for the day. You know, you have your porridge with water in the morning, or your 2 bananas, depending on what it is you want from your diet. And then you set up the rest of your 5 meals, and you try and eat every 2.5 hours. Now, like I said, people say, "Oh, I can't do it because I'm working," but you've got no excuse whatsoever. Because you know, I work. I've got a lot of things I need to do. I've got kids. I've got businesses to run. I'm non-stop, and I still have to do this. And so does every other bodybuilder, fitness model, figure model. They have to find that time to get that sustenance inside them. So that's something also to take into consideration. If you want, if you want a proper diet plan, I can help you out with that. But you have to Facebook me or Google Plus me, and then we'll talk about it from there. Right, so let's talk about some of the things you want to take out of your diet, and this is the key point. If you want to take some things out of your diet, the first thing you need to look at is wheat and dairy. If you want to diet, just accept that there's certain things which is kind of counterintuitive to your diet. Now, some people will disagree with this, which is fine, because everyone has their own opinion. But you need to take wheat out of your diet. I found this personally, that it makes a massive difference to your diet. Basically, easy way to explain this is wheat and dairy cause an insulin spike in your body. This is converted into sugar in the blood, and sugar is converted into energy in the body, or stored, which is the key point, stored as energy, which basically means it's basically storing as fat. Let's just cut the ball. It's storing as fat. So, in essence, any sort of simple carb when you're dieting can be stored, and most times, because a lot of time when you're not dieting, you're overeating, is stored as fat. So try and take out things with wheat in it, and you'll be surprised what's got wheat in it. Obviously, you're going to have to take the sauces out of your diet, the ketchups and stuff, because they've obviously got refined sugar, which you're going to have to cut out refined sugars from your diet. You know, fructose is okay, but you still want to limit the amount of fructose you put in your diet, because it is still sugar. Irrelevant of how your body sees it, it's still sugar. And if you don't use that energy, it's going to get stored as fat. So I've mentioned about wheat and dairy. There's wheats and lots of things. Wheats, pasta, white rice, potatoes. So you want to go for the more complex carbs, like the oats. But again, if you can cut out gluten from your diet, you have to get gluten-free oats. So there's something well to think about. Brown rice, various sorts of sweet potato, bananas. There's lots of things. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find them. And obviously you might want to look at, I mentioned about sugars, but you'll be surprised the amount of things that there is refined sugar in, so you might have to, for a little while, read the ingredients and really be true to yourself and go, should I have that? It's only got a little bit in it. No. If you're on a diet, you're going to have to accept there's some things you can't have, and it's the hard truth, but it's just, the way that I think it should be told is if you want something, you're going to have to sacrifice, and you know, you put in the effort and you get a great result. It's that simple. I hope I'm not boring you too much here. Okay, so meat. Let's try and put this in quite simple terms. You can't have lamb. You can't have pork. I don't care how nice that bacon sandwich looks. Honestly, bacon sandwich, eggs, bean. I'll have all of that. But right now, if I'm dieting, it's gone. It's that simple. I can't have it. The pork chops with that lovely curry gravy and I can eat that now. But the problem is you can't. It's that simple. You can't have it. So lamb is out. Beef is out. Well, no, actually, no, that's not quite completely true. You can have extra lean beef mince. Now, you're going to have to see a butcher about that and get it to your specifications. But again, you don't want too much because, you know, it's still fatty. And obviously take pork out. And the other bit which you're all going to cringe at, because those people that like their chicken usually like the skin on the chicken, which is usually got all the flavour in. The reason being is because it's the fat that flavours it. So you're going to have to take that out. And I know you guys hate me now for saying that. But yeah, so you're going to have to eat, the things you're going to have to eat instead of those meats is, you know, get chicken breasts, turkey, fish, eggs. I'm not an avid fan of just having egg whites. It took me a couple of years to work out why I wasn't getting as much benefit from egg whites as possible, and it's because you do need some yolk in it. I try and go for about a 3 to 1 ratio, so 3 whites for 1 yolk. I'm sure you can Google all the reasons why it's important to have the yolk. It's got other benefits rather than the fact that it does have cholesterol, but it does also have other really important stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit how to sort out your diet plans. I'm only going to touch on this briefly because obviously it's something that I do. So in the morning, let's look at the first part. In the morning, you're going to have to think about how you want to do your breakfast. The first thing I'd suggest you do is probably look at having Oh So Simple, not sponsored by them, Oh So Simple sachets of porridge. It's dead simple to do. It takes you 2 seconds when you're getting ready for work or whatever. You literally get one, empty it into a bowl. Nice. This is so simple. Get one, put it in a bowl, fill it to the brim, fill it to the indicator mark on the side of it, pour it in the water, and literally just give it a quick stir, throw it in the microwave, 1-2 minutes, whatever. Check, because some microwaves cook a bit faster than others, and you don't want it to be rubbery, and you don't want it to still be way too snotty. You kind of want it in the middle. So check, get used to making it, and then you can throw it in while you go and have your shower, and it really is that simple. And then when you get it out, again, notice I said with water and not milk, by the way, because we're going back to the whole insulin spike thing. Yeah, so you can put a banana in that if you want, but you've got to keep an eye on the amount of carbs you're going to have per day, and I'll talk about carbs in a minute. So you might want to chop a banana once it's cooked, and I'm saying once it's cooked because if you cook the banana, it's going to caramelise slightly and it's going to be all mushy and stuff, and you don't really want that. And B, also it takes longer for the body to process it because it has to then break it down more. When you cook it, it's kind of breaking it down for you. If you make your body work harder, it will help you diet, and that's the key point there. I hope I'm not boring you guys too much here. It's a lot of information, so I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible. Okay, so that's meal 1 anyway. So now 2.5 hours later, 2 hours later, depending on how many meals you're having per day. I know people that have 7 meals a day, I know people that have 5 meals a day when they're dieting. It just depends on what you can handle and what you can get in your body. Sorry, I will talk about water as well, don't worry. So you kind of want to, about 2.5 hours later, if you're dieting, you kind of might want to have maybe a lighter carb meal for your second meal, because obviously you're still going to be full from the porridge, especially if you're just getting used to the diet. Once you're in full flow for the diet, you will be craving that second meal, the third meal. You will be craving it because you're getting just enough to sustain you, but you're not getting enough to make you feel that you're full. And that's what everyone usually looks for when they're not dieting, is that full, I feel good. Yeah, so go for maybe like a small sweet potato for your next meal. This is for men mainly. I'm talking about, because ladies might want a slightly lower carb content, but I'm going to go for men for the moment. So go for one small sweet potato, some broccoli, a cupful of cooked broccoli. Don't overcook your broccoli. That's very key as well. Don't overcook your broccoli. Again, it's the same thing as the banana. You overcook it, and your body just processes it and it's gone. What you need to do is make your body work harder, so your body has to use energy, burn body fat. So yeah, so do that, and then the next with a piece of meat, preferably about 30 to 40 grams of protein. Some people have less. It doesn't really, you know, there is studies showing that in actual fact you don't need that much per day. You actually need more carbs, and there's a lot of the fitness experts out there, the IFB fitness experts, are now starting to come around to that way of thinking, that perhaps perhaps a little bit less protein and just a little bit more carbs and just a little bit more hard work in the gym is better for you than making your making your body work harder to try and process the protein. So just something to think about. So, you know, we're talking like a chicken breast per meal, or maybe just a little bit less than that. You know, or a tin of tuna, which is about 25 grams of protein in spring water, by the way, not brine or sunflower oil, something like that. And also, if you maybe put a little bit of chili in it as well, because the chili, it helps with the fat burning. It's known as a fat burner, and it also helps to speed up your metabolism. Meal 2, pretty much similar. Meal 3, you can probably have a meal 2, no, meal 3. Meal 4, you might want to have a sorry, I'm really thirsty. You might want to have some asparagus instead of the broccoli. Meal 4, it'd probably be your last carb meal. So I'm assuming you're having 6 meals a day. I'm just going by the 6 meal rule. So this will probably take you up to about 5:36. So you can have another small sweet potato. Now for me that's a high carb day. You've had quite a few sweet potatoes and the oats and the banana in the morning. So that's probably, just off the top of my head, probably about 120, 130 grams of carbs that you've done already, and that's more than enough. For me, that's a high carb day when I'm dieting, and I go to lows about 50 grams a day. So the next 2 meals after that, no carbs except for what you get from the veg, which are pretty low carbs anyway. I mean, if you kind of do the equivalent, like half a bag of broccoli, it's kind of equivalent to half a sweet potato, half a potato. So it's, you know, broccoli, there's not a lot of carb content, but there's a lot of fibre and a lot of other nutritional content, something to think about. So the next 2 meals, you can have a cup of broccoli, a little bit of asparagus, and some lean meat of some sort. Fish, turkey breast, chicken. And then the last meal is exactly the same. Before bed, and it depends how serious you want to be. This is more for the fitness guys rather than the people that's just trying to diet and get lean. You might want to think about maybe just having a 0 carb protein shake of some sort, and with a couple of egg whites thrown in, 1 or 2 egg whites, no more, and that'll be enough to sustain you until the morning, or at least give you a good head start for the morning. So when you wake up in the morning, you can have that protein shake in you. Now, I haven't actually talked about fitness, and that's kind of probably the next point. You're like, okay, can you talk about fitness? No, I'm joking. Right, so if you're dieting and you're following the diet, remember I talked about a second ago about you're fluctuating the carbs, so you might have a high carb day, I mentioned previously, but I went up to about 130, 150 grams. And then you get right down to about 50 grams. You're kind of taking out some of those sweet potatoes and putting more of the veg in. So you basically, when you wake up in the morning, you want a protein shake in your body. It's that simple. You want something in your body so that you can go and do some light exercise and basically burn the energy that's in your body. And energy, once you've slept, all that's left to burn is the body fat, and that's the key point. So getting up in the morning, doing a 45-minute walk, and that, most people think, oh, I can do a 30-minute, 45-minute walk. You should try it first thing in the morning without breakfast. It's not always fun. It's easy, but it is still tedious, like mentally tedious. So it might be an idea to get yourself a little exercise bike at home, stick MTV on or something, one of your favourite channels. As soon as you wake up, protein shake or some form of protein, and get some amino acids in you, and then literally just sit in front of it and just cycle really lightly, no resistance. You shouldn't really be sweating, and you'll basically, over a period of time, that will help you burn the body fat, because there's nothing else to use except for the body fat in the body. Now the reason I'm not saying do high intensity stuff first thing in the morning before you've eaten food is because what have you got to burn? If you do really high intensity stuff in the morning, all you have left to burn is your muscles, because where else is your body going to get energy fuel? If you know, it needs energy to burn, and if you're burning those, you're working your muscles out. You're putting yourself in, because you're already in a catabolic state, opposite to anabolic. You put yourself in a catabolic state by the sleep. So when you wake up, you're still catabolic. You need to change that by getting sustenance in you, but not carbohydrate if you can. And then do your cardio, so that way your body has to use the energy stores, and then put your carbs in. I hope I'm not waffling on too much. Straight after training is another key point. I'm talking about fitness times here. Straight after training, you might want to look at the fact that it's the perfect time for your body to burn the body fat, because you've trained. You know, you've gone, full pelt in the gym, so there is nothing left in your body to burn. So what is there left to burn? You can't go and do. You can do medium to light. I still say medium to light cardio. Now people will disagree with me, but I know that this works for me. Everyone is different. Everyone has a different mental way of achieving what they want. But for me, medium to light cardio straight after a heavy session for about 20 minutes, no more. Maybe in 15 minutes, but you might want to try and get some amino acids in you, or glutamine or something so that you're not, because obviously you've only got about 25 minutes, 30 minutes before that. You've sort of wasted your workout, if you will. Like, you're in a catabolic state. When you train, you're in a catabolic state. Again, it's the opposite to anabolic. It's not good. So you might want to get something in you, but nothing carbohydrate. I'll explain why again in a minute. Because you might want to do about 20 minutes reasonable cycling, or jogging, or because at the end of the day you've got nothing left to burn. So it's not worth trying to kill yourself straight after doing a heavy back workout or leg workout, or So as soon as you finish, though, you need to get something in you. I suggest, now most people will say, and again, all the IFBB gurus and all, they all turn around to this. I've been noticing it a lot. I was watching this video that was on Facebook about Kai Green, about how his new trainer has been saying to him, no, you're not going to have carbs straight after training. And the reason is because even though the carbs help put your body into a help get your body out of that catabolic state, it also hinders the natural growth that's released when you train. So what you want to do is you want to get some amino acids inside you straight away. As soon as you finish training, some amino acids and a protein shake of some sort, preferably not a high carb one. And then about 15-20 minutes post that, then you can get some carbs in you, and that's the key point. This is more for the fitness guys, not just for the everyday bods. People that want a bit more information, that aren't looking to be a fitness professional or fitness expert or anything like that, they just want to lose some weight, you just Facebook me and I'll give you a bit more specific for you. So I think that's probably the best way. Now, on the off days, I only train 3 days a week. I've only ever trained 3 days a week, except when I'm getting closer to the competition. So for the off days, what I try and do is the off days, by off days I mean the days that I'm not in the gym doing heavy weights. I do kind of high intensity cardio, and I don't do it for hours and hours, and that's the key. At the end of the day, all you need to do is hit your body, hence why it's called hit your body hard, and make your body burn that body fat and burn the excess energy, and and that's kind of what you're trying to aim for. Now near me there's a couple of hills which is really, really great. So I just run up the hill full tilt. I'm talking, you get to the top, you're out of breath. Then I make yourself walk down really, really slowly. And what it does, it basically hits your fast twitch fibres in your muscles, and it works your slow twitch muscles. A, you're getting a bit of a cardiovascular workup, but B, it makes your body react in 2 different ways. So it's just something to think about anyway. And you can do that for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then you go for a jog for maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to balance your body. So what's happening is your body thinks, oh, I feel comfortable now. Again, it's kind of resetting the fear factor clock in your body. Not like your body can sense fear, but you know what I mean? As in, it kind of resets it. And then so that's 25 minutes already done, because you've done 15 minutes running up and down a hill, running up and walking down a hill, and you've done a jog. Now you get back on that hill and you do another, depending on the height of the hill, do another 5 or 10 lengths reps, and I guarantee you, A, you'll probably be a little bit tender, and B, it will shift that body fat, because that's what I ever did. I'd only spend about 35 minutes on both cardio days, Tuesday and Thursday, trying to burn body fat. And I hope I've kind of answered some of the questions I've been getting. I've tried to not make it as complex or as boring as possible, but unfortunately there's so much to try and explain that it's just it's mind-boggling. I haven't talked about water. There was one thing I was going to talk about, as water. You need water. If you go into the gym and you're having a 500ml bottle of water, you are not drinking enough water to sustain your workout, let alone get a good workout. It's you know, you got. I go with the 2 litre a day rule as minimum. You know, if I'm not training, I have 2 litres at home at least. If I'm training, I take 2 litres with me to the gym, and I make sure that I've finished it, because I know that your body's basically water. Now, if you're sweating out that water, you're not getting the benefit from your body. Your body's having to work. They put your body under stress for no reason, you know, because you're already in the gym, stressing that body, making your body work. So give it what it needs. It needs to be refreshed. It needs rehydration, and that's the key. And also try and avoid. I know that I've seen people. We talked about soft drinks and stuff. I've seen people in the gym so many times with Lucozade, just Lucozade, a little bottle of Lucozade, and that's their entire workout. And I've got nothing against you if you want to do that, but you're not doing yourself any good. And this is just my personal opinion. If you disagree with me, fine, fair enough. Leave it in the comments. I've got no problems with debating with you guys. It's cool. But seriously, Lucozade, put it away. Drink some water. It's so much better for you. And considering your body's basically just water with a few extra bits of connective tissue and the rest of it, and bone, it's, you know, it's something you guys should take a bit more seriously. And I hope I've been of some help with you guys. As I say, I'm sorry it was quite a long explanation to get to where we needed to get to, and I just hope it was okay for you guys. All right, thank you.